I think this trail section we've been on, this reroute that has no trail bed yet, just might take the top honors for the most difficult trek I have ever been on in my life. Stay tuned. It is a little brisk this morning. There's a breeze coming up out of this valley on my left, and it is cold. Feels like mid-30s. But being bold and starting cold somewhat. Took the hat and gloves off and the puffy. But yeah, this change of events was definitely not expected. We were just moving really slow yesterday, partially because of all the blowdowns, and also, you know, because we stopped and saw a lot of sights, and because of Nick's knee. We were kind of hopeful that he would wake up feeling ready to go, but he said he's hurting pretty bad and he's just not confident he can make it 20 miles today. A good night's sleep does wonders for the body, like I always say, and I feel great today. I'm ready to rock. How do you feel, Sam?
Pretty good, actually.
Good.
Body knows how to fix itself for the most part overnight.
And it sure does. It always surprises me how well it heals with a good night's sleep. Made it to the Jack Sauter campsite. We've been on trail, what, less than an hour? Mm-hmm. We were pretty close. We probably should have pushed on last night, but we would have arrived in the dark, so it was nice to set up camp and cook in the daylight last night. But yeah, this is pretty nice. There's like 4 tent pads, so this is the main campsite area. There's not really tent pads here, but there's 4 scattered in this area. So we're making good progress. Let's hit the road and keep on going. Which way to go? Probably up and around the root ball. That is the biggest blowdown we've come across. Not the messiest, but the biggest. Man, it's hard to believe that ice can bring a tree down like that. Up and around. Holy moly, this is a minefield. Do we go through it or around it?
I think we're gonna have a race. See who can...
Sam's going around, I'm going through. Let's go. Oh, got trekking poles in one hand and a camera in the other. Yeah, not too bad. Was able to step through most of it. Haha! All right, this is the doozy. By far the worst one we've come across. And I'm having flashbacks of the Foothills Trail. I encountered 50 of these. All right, let's figure a way around. Woo! Not so bad. We are at Pound Gap Trailhead, and I believe this is the halfway point of the Pine Mountain Trail. And there's a marathon station. We just saw a sign back there a little ways ago that said 13 miles to Birch Knob Shelter, so that actually is not bad at all. I mean, shoot, we're gonna be there in, what is that, 4 hours? Something like that?
I hope so.
Not bad. Let's get moving. Enjoying a peanut butter and jelly wrap. Got my snacks out for later. And when I come to a gas station, I'm always a sucker for some chocolate milk, some salty chips. It's dill picker day. Hit the spot, didn't it? Oh yeah. In Virginia. I might have mentioned it earlier. We're skirting the line, state line between Kentucky and Virginia quite a bit. We're going to be in Virginia for just a little bit and heading back to Kentucky here shortly. It's actually shaping up to be a really nice day. The sun's out, the sky is pretty blue, and man, we got a beautiful shot of the mountains in the background. Check that out. Still kind of socked in by the fog, but beautiful nonetheless. Mountain Life Church, learning how to live. My goodness, this is a steep hill. Holy moly. Well, that would be a fantastic view of the mountains. You can just barely make them out there. Making some progress. Thankful for these steps, they're pretty nice. We just made a major mistake. We've already turned around, we're heading back north, but we were supposed to turn right there on that dotted line and go that way. We just lost a mile, Sam.
Rip. It happens though.
Yep, we just extended our time of arrival to Birch Shelter.
Good thing we started at 7:30.
Yes, sir. These blowdowns just never end. It's becoming the trail of blowdowns, guys. Oh. I mean, most of them aren't real bad, but it's slowing our pace down to a crawl. High noon, and we're only like 9 miles in. It's rough. I feel like I put in a 15-mile day already. But that's what you get sometimes when you take on a trail after an ice storm. Oh my goodness. We are on a 1 mile reroute around some private property, and it's on a section of trail that has never been maintained, never had a proper trail bed made. And it's not fun. But we're persevering and pushing on, but I gotta admit, it's a little frustrating. Can you believe this is the trail? Look at this, there is no trail. Fortunately, we have blazes or we would have to carry our phones for navigation. There is a faint trail bed every now and then, but it's easily to follow a little rabbit trail off of the main trail. But I mean, this is slow going. And about a mile back, we saw a sign that said, be prepared at a ½ mile an hour pace to get through this, and I was snickering to myself. Sam was reading that sign, I was like, ½ mile an hour, come on, at least 1.5 miles per hour, but no, it's a ½ mile an hour.
This is way worse than when I did it a year ago. I don't know what changed,
Wow.
but it's in bad shape.
This is just thick. I mean, look, there's a faint blaze on that tree right there. I have no idea where the trail is.
And we're not even at the hardest part.
Oh my goodness, we got the rhododendrons coming up. This is pure bushwhacking right here, folks.
Kentucky special.
Yes. Yeah, you about have to take your pack off for that one. I was able to leave mine on, but barely. I scraped pretty good.
Woo, buddy.
We're on the trail, but there's no trail. Folks, we have a situation. We are in this tangled mess of rhododendron, and Sam has lost his camera. The RX100, Sony RX100 Mark III, I think. There he is, just disappeared into the rhododendron, and we have no idea how far back it is. Hopefully, it's not too far. Hopefully, he'll find it. This is the trail, it's following this creek. Sometimes you have to look for a little orange flag right there, and you can see way up ahead the double yellow for a turn, probably turns right and continues down the drainage. I think this trail section we've been on, this reroute that has no trail bed yet, just might take the top honors for the most difficult trek I have ever been on in my life. Maybe more so than the bouldering on the Adirondacks, because on the Adirondack Trail, at least there was a trail bed and something to follow, and it was just bouldering and rock scrambling that made you slow down, and it was steep. But this, I mean, take a look at this tangled mess of rhododendron. I mean, it was bad before, but after the ice storm, it's even worse. That is the trail. And I just came through here. I tried to do an easier way, and it ended up being almost more difficult. I had to come down through this, and it's just like a jungle. He's up there searching in the rhododendron for probably almost 10 minutes now. I sure hope he finds it, but it's gonna be like finding a needle in a haystack. Boy, I way underestimated this reroute. I did not expect this at all. I thought we were going to be able to cruise 3 miles an hour all day long and be at camp in the middle of the afternoon. But we still have like 10 miles to go, and our pace is down to a ½ mile an hour. So most likely we're going to be rolling into camp 5:30, 6 o'clock. Sam, you found your camera! Woo!
Oh man, the Lord provided.
Man.
I was praying so hard. Like 3 different trips before this were all on that SD card. I just was like, all those memories are gone. So
Yeah.
I know you were rooting for me too, so.
Yep, I was just making my way up to start helping you find it. But you had to backtrack all the way up to where we went through that rock, which is a quarter-mile away or something. And this was a hard quarter-mile to get up to.
I've experienced this 3 times now.
Oh my gosh, and our legs are getting so tore up. This was definitely
shredded.
Yeah, they're getting shredded. We got 10 miles to go, so hopefully we can make it. Let's get moving. We finally made it out of the rhododendron, and it's nice and open again and somewhat flat. And we think we're heading back towards the original trail. I think it's right over there somewhere. But I don't agree with this. The proposed route is not a good proposal.
Oh yeah.
What in the world is that? There's some kind of waterfowl or turkey over there. Perfect place to stop and have a little lunch break. A late lunch break. It's 2:20. And I think we're just past halfway. I haven't looked at my app lately. Still got a ways to go, but finishing up my last wrap with some of Samuel's delicious cheese and sausage in there. Good stuff.
Not exaggerating, no.
That was a fun one.
Oh.
Well, it finally happened. The Olympus 4s. Got a nice gash in there from my last fall. I just took a little stick grazing across the shoe and opened it up really good. Doggone it. They're nearing the end of their life.
Oh, Lord.
That rock right there is where the Vibram rubber shines. Still sketchy though. You gotta watch your footing for sure. The briars here are no joke, folks. Whew, that had to feel good.
Oh man.
Doing all right?
Yeah, ready to get to that shelter.
Yes, we got about 4.5 miles, I think. We got the sun getting low in the sky. Whew.
Let's do it.
These hills are no joke here. This gives you a little idea of what we're up against here. Some big hills out here. And that's not all, folks. It keeps on going. Luckily, we don't have to go up there. The dark Rodo Trail. It's kind of pretty. We are on our final 2.5 miles to the Birch Knob Shelter. Is that what it's called? Birch
Knob Observation
Tower. We're going to the Birch Knob Observation Tower first. Hopefully I can get some good drone footage up there, or at least some good pictures and good video. It's all going to depend on where the sun is. It is starting to set. We've got about an hour of sunlight left. But yep, in less than 3 miles, we will be at our shelter. I know Sam's excited back there.
Oh man, cannot wait. Nick's got us a fire.
He better have a fire going. I don't know how many more of these I can take. I'm starting to lose it.
Can't do it, Captain. Can't go on much longer.
Well, we just exited the trail for the final time today, and we are here on a forest road. We got about 1.5 miles forest road to walk to the lookout tower and our campsite. Tonight's low is calling for 28. Oh, check out that moon. That's like a day away from a full moon, it looks like. Beautiful. Just when we thought things could not get any worse, and a couple texts rolled in, and because I was going to give Nick a call because he's supposedly at the shelter right now building us a fire. And we got about a 1.5 mile road walk here to get to the shelter. And I call him, and he cannot make it down the forest road. The gate is locked.
Well, folks, I hit a snag. It is locked. Dang.
Even if the gate would have been open, I still don't think he could have made it, because we saw numerous down trees on a little 1/4 mile section of road that we've already walked, and he would have had to have a chainsaw to get through. So Nick has concluded this trip and is heading home, unfortunately, and it's just me and Samuel tonight. But, you know, that's what happens sometimes. Sam, you got anything to say about this?
Just got to take it with a grain of salt and be able to cherish the memories that you do have and be grateful, because, you know, you don't know what's going to happen any given moment, because now's all we got. So we'll make the most of it, and Nick will be with us in spirit.
Well said. Lessons learned on the Pine Mountain Trail. The shadows are getting long. It's calm now. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Look at that sun.
Perfect time for a drone shot.
Yes, time to get to that tower. There it is, 20 miles. It's a big day. I don't care who you are. 20 miles is a big day.
Heck yeah, it is.
Whew. Especially the stuff we went through. The tower is just up ahead. All right, we're here at the tower. This is a pretty amazing place. Awesome rock formations, but that is a big set of steps to climb. All right, let's get up there. Oh my, 180 steps to the top of this thing. And we missed the sunset. Still beautiful in the background though. Almost there. I don't think that was 180 steps. I think it was 380. What kind of view are we gonna have up here, I wonder? Man, we just missed the sunset by like 20 minutes. I bet it was gorgeous. Wow, look at all the lights down below. And they're everywhere. That is pretty cool. It's a lot darker than what the camera's showing right now. I have the lighting turned up quite a bit. I apologize for the focus issues. It's struggling a little bit in this darkness. Man. It was definitely worth coming up here. I'm glad we put in the extra effort, Sam.
Heck yeah.
Looky where we are. We made it. Hallelujah. Get some more light on it. There she is. The beautiful, beautiful birch knob shelter. It's been a long time since I've looked this forward to being at a shelter. Wow, this is quite the shelter. Big old shelter. Look at that upper loft area. That's amazing. Welcome. This is awesome. This is completely out of the wind. Love it. Here it is, my favorite freeze-dried meal of all time that I'm getting ready to enjoy here in the shelter. I cannot wait to dig into this. If you have not tried this yet, you need to consider trying it, because it is amazing. I know it's expensive, but I highly recommend it. What you chowing on over here, Sam?
Still waiting for my north side to rehydrate. I got cheddar broccoli and pulled pork, and then that fancy cheese in there to hopefully thicken it up. Smells good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Dorito.
Okay.
Gotta have some chips.
I can't tell if you're in focus or not. I apologize, everyone, if everything I'm showing you is out of focus. It's just hard to tell when it's dark in here. I think it looks pretty good now. It's been a long day. We're both worn out. Our bellies are full. We got about 12 miles out to the vehicle tomorrow. So we're going to hit the bed early and get a good night's sleep. Hopefully we feel rested and healed tomorrow to be able to handle this 12 miles before a rain moves in around 2 p.m. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for the final 12 miles. Good night. that wasn't fun. This is a very nice Privy. It's a composting motoring Privy, I guess is what it's called. So it's kind of completely open, and you throw sawdust on top when you're finished. There's the sawdust. And if you need toilet paper, it's conveniently located inside there, safely stored away from the mice. All right, let's get on the trail. Birch knob shelter was very nice. It's an awesome shelter, one of the nicest I've seen. Sam's getting his final shelter shot set up, and we're ready to roll for our final day on the Pine Mountain Trail. Here we go! Beat ball! Start going! Woo! This side of the mountain still has some pretty crunchy snow and ice mixture, and plenty of debris in the trail. Man, pretty cool. Interesting story here about people running from the law, a murder, moonshine. Lots of cool history up here. So I was thinking back to my Sheltowee Trace FKT, and I know a lot of you watching this probably follow me during that FKT attempt. But if you are interested in through hiking the Sheltowee Trace and are interested in doing it in a more realistic time of, let's say, 3 weeks, make sure you check out Samuel and Nick's through hike series or playlist. I will link it down in the description for you. They have like 10 videos each of their through hike of the Sheltowee Trace just this last May of 2020. It was a great watch, and if you're interested in through hiking the Sheltowee Trace, definitely check that out. You see this, guys? This is a tough one. I can't decide if I should go under or over. Wow. Oh, you went right through there like a champ.
Woo. Learn from the best.
Haha. Onward. Got our first decent view this morning of the mountains. Mostly cloudy, but the sun's trying to peek out a little bit. So far, things are going good here this morning on day 3. And oh, geez, until there. Take 2. Things are going pretty good here, morning of day 3, other than a few minor blowdowns. And the temperature has risen to about 39, maybe 38, 39. It got down to 34 degrees last night, and a 20-degree quilt should keep you plenty warm in that, but I was cold all night long. Even in a shelter out of the wind, I was cold all night long. I don't consider myself a cold sleeper, but I guess I am. We are on our final 11 miles of the 42-mile trail, and we're trying to beat the rain. We got a 40% chance of rain at 1 o'clock and 90% chance from 2 o'clock on. And we really would like to get out here before it rains. Oh yeah, here we go. This is what I've been waiting for. Oh boy. Very nice. This is going to slow down our pace, but this is worth it. I'll chance the rain to stop and gander at this for a few moments. What do you think, Sam?
Might be drone worthy.
Oh, buddy. Drone worthy for sure, but oh man.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't see that. Big old rock wall down there. All right, let's get it out.
That's pretty wild.
We just stumbled across a little arch. Pretty neat. Oh my gosh, you okay, Sam?
I'm covered in dirt.
We were just admiring this massive root tree that peeled up out of the earth. And there's another one that formed and Sam fell right in.
Just take a nap under here. Oh, Lord. I'm going to have you help me up. I can't. Whole backpack.
I gotta see a face in agony real quick. That's noisy. This section kind of reminds me of the trails in Pennsylvania, the Quihana and the Susquehannock. I'm glad we don't have to go down or up that, just underneath this structure. And it is windy up here. We got 25-mile-an-hour winds. Hopefully my wind puffy is helping a little bit. Woo! Still got a ways to go. We're only 5 miles in. Nice and calm right here.
Oh yeah.
It still has been non-stop. Ice damage, blowdowns to crawl through and over. Better view out that way with a little pond out there in the middle of the screen, or a lake.
Got whipped about 100 times. Gosh.
So it looks like a tornado went through here. You can see the ice storm damage on the treetops pretty good right here. And obviously some major quarry digging going on over there. It's a good thing we flew the drone when we did, because it's like 25-mile-an-hour winds up here now. There ain't no flying it now. I'd be lucky to get it back. We lost a helinox, folks. This is how the hiking goes after an ice storm.
Oh.
At least you can laugh about it and we're not injured.
Oh gosh, Crocs in my face. What the heck?
Oh no!
I'm not making this up. We are not staging this.
This is real, folks. Look at this hand. Is it bleeding?
No.
That's just mud. Oh gosh. Why is it always me?
Wow. I mean, I thought I was clumsy, but I have a controlled clumsiness.
I just plopped like a rock.
We're heading up there next. Looks pretty cool. So we were just having a little discussion, you know, while complaining about all these blowdowns from the ice damage, that this trail is now being called the Kentucky Gauntlet. And I would say it's probably the most difficult trail in Kentucky.
Absolutely agree.
Sam agrees. I think Nick would agree too. Now that I've done this trail with these two Kentucky boys, I am going to call out a couple other Kentucky boys. Jeremiah Stringer, John Kelly, and Backpacking with Jason. Sir, I challenge you guys to come and take on the Kentucky Gauntlet. Still very cold here on the shaded side of the mountain. So we've been coming down this icy, snowy slope of a trail because we were just up there on top of that ridge. Nice and calm down here, I like that. We are stopped dead in our tracks right now. I'm going to show you what we got coming up here. It is an absolute disaster. Maybe one of the worst stretches we have went through other than the rhododendron reroute. I don't know how we're going to get through it. This is going to take us 20 minutes to go a couple hundred yards. This is the trail. I mean, as far as the eye can see, it's just destruction. And you can see a yellow blaze on a tree up ahead there. Oh my goodness. I should have brought a machete for this trip. I should have brought a chainsaw.
Pocket chainsaw.
Yes, I'm filtering. There it is. See, I got the Sawyer on. Check out that rock face. That is spectacular. We were almost on top of that, right?
Yeah,
we were just a little bit off to the right, I think, before we came down off of that. That's some pretty cool rock right there. Well, it's 20 after 1. We're making our final descent down to the trailhead. It's treacherous because it's starting to sprinkle. The rocks are wet and there's running water in this trail. Definitely rugged and sketchy. You got to watch your footing. We almost made it back without having to put the raincoats on, but we got 1 mile left and it's sprinkling too hard, so had to don the raincoat. Check out this mossy rock garden. That is pretty cool. All those green things out there are individual rocks covered in moss. Nicely done.
For man, one giant leap for backpackers.
Yeah, woohoo! Getting ready to pop off the trail here in a few moments. Stopping for one last view of this creek, a river, and a rock outcropping all in one shot. Fantastic. Alrighty, well, we made it out safe and sound. It feels so good to be off that trail.
My goodness.
It was a rough one, and I just want to thank you for sticking through to the end of the video if you're still watching. And we're getting ready to do a quick debriefing about our opinions and thoughts of this trail. And if you aren't interested in sticking around for that, I just want to thank you right now for watching this video, and stay tuned for future backpacking trips, maybe even Virginia Triple Crown or Grayson Highlands here soon. It's on my radar this year. So hope to see you again real soon. For those of you who are interested in hearing our debriefing of the trail, here we go. It was an awesome trail. It was challenging. It was much harder than I expected. I guess first of all, I want to thank Samuel and Nick for inviting me along on this backpacking trip. I wasn't up for a challenge hike, but it kind of ended up going that way. So yeah, thank you for inviting me. I had a great time. It's really fun getting to know Nick and Samuel. This guy's a hardcore hiker. I would recommend checking out his channel because he's young, he has a long backpacking career ahead of him, and he's got some phenomenal trails on his bucket list that he's going to be seeing here in the future. So if you don't know who Samuel is, check out his channel. It's Bluegrass Backcountry.
Yes, sir.
And do you have anything on Facebook or Instagram that they should know about too?
Yeah, his Facebook page is the same, Bluegrass Backcountry, and my Instagram is just my personal name, Samuel James. So there it is.
Awesome. And we also need to mention Nick.
Oh, absolutely.
Unfortunately, Nick had to bail on this trip 13 miles in on the 42-mile trek because of an IT band issue with his knee. So Nick, we hope you're feeling better. I'm sure you're watching this right now, and I want to thank you for inviting me along, and I'm glad I got to meet you and hike with you for those 13 miles and 2 nights. We got to spend 2 nights together.
Yeah.
Yep. So, overall, it was a great trip. Very challenging trail. I think it was a similar elevation profile. I haven't looked at the final numbers yet, but it was a very similar elevation profile to the Quehana Trail and Susquehannock Trail in Pennsylvania, and Knobstone Trail in Indiana, and the Shawnee State Forest backpacking loop in southern Ohio. So if you're wondering the difficulty of this trail, it's at least as hard as any of those 4 I just mentioned. So if you're looking for a great trail that can be challenging and beautiful at the same time with 3 shelters, right? Yep, 3 shelters along its path. I would highly recommend the Pine Mountain State Scenic Trail. Is that properly said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to give Samuel a chance to maybe give some of his final thoughts on this trail.
Yeah, I know that Jason mentioned it a little bit ago, but I've done this once before, and after finishing both sections independently, I just had an overwhelming sense that this was the most difficult and rugged terrain in the entire state of Kentucky. And it makes me appreciate not only like how trail conferences and volunteers establish it, but how they maintain it, because we got to experience on this trip what it's like whenever a storm comes through. And I mean, in some ways, a lot of people that are volunteering wouldn't even have access to get to some points that we were at. It's going to be a multi-year process for them to get this back going again, functional, to where it doesn't cause serious delays like it did for us. So I really love Kentucky since I'm from here, and one of the things that I like to do with people is to give them a sense of place, like where they're from or somewhere else in the country or the world. And I don't know, a trip like this just makes me appreciate and feel honored to live in this state and to be offered such challenge and beauty, because I think a lot of people maybe don't assume that with Kentucky, but I think we got a lot to offer. So I'm just glad that it had multiple people to come along with me. It makes it so much better rather than solo sometimes. So Jason, thank you. And
Absolutely.
yeah, we got blessed with a lot of gifts that we didn't deserve, from finding my camera, and God was very gracious in that moment for sure. Definitely didn't deserve to find that, but it was great that I did. So and love you, Nick. Trail Bros for life. Sorry you couldn't make it, but you're here with us in spirit for sure.
Yeah, God was good to us on this trip. He protected us. We woke up feeling healed and rested fully and ready to tackle the next day each morning. And we never had really any injuries at all on this entire trek, despite having probably hundreds of lowdowns to go through.
And we're being modest at that.
Yeah.
Like, it's with so many.
It's going to be a long process, and I'm not familiar with the volunteers and trail maintenance that they have for this trail, but yeah, it's going to be a while, I think.
And if you're from Kentucky or the Ohio Valley region in general, and you're prepping for a trail like the Appalachian Trail or PCT or some long distance trail, and you want to train in an area that's going to test you, I think it means a lot with a hiker like Jason Wish, with all the things that he has accomplished and the trails that he's tackled. For him to say how difficult this is, I think that's saying a lot for what you can be offered if you want a great place to train to get ready for a larger hike. So definitely give it a thought for sure.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. I did not think I was going to encounter challenging terrain in southeast Kentucky like this. So, yep, it's up there with some of the toughest ones. And day one, these guys tell me that we have 13 miles planned, and I was like chuckled to myself, 13 miles. Man, it felt like 30. And then yesterday, Samuel got his new personal best long mileage day, 22 miles. Congratulations, Samuel.
Thank you.
That's got to feel good, because I know what it felt like when I hit my first big day at 23 a couple years ago. And it felt like at least 35 to me.
Yeah.
So this guy's a trooper, man. He can put down some miles.
It inspired me to think that I could maybe do more in the future. I never would have thought I could handle more than 20 in a day, because that's as much as I've ever done. So this guy helped inspire me to keep going for sure.
There might even be an FKT in the future.
Oh, I don't know. I need to be doing some squats.
Yeah, I think my FKT days are probably over. It doesn't sound very fun to train for one of those again after doing this trail.
Oh, man.
So I want to go back real quick to Nick and his knee issues. He's had something like this happen before, I think, but not so much on the Sheltowee Trace. He made it through that through hike very well, didn't he?
Yeah, obviously he's an accomplished hiker, because he through hiked the entire 350 plus mile Sheltowee Trace right alongside me. I think Jason and I both talked about it before. Like, I think that's a humble lesson for you to see that today is really all you have in life, and you don't know what the future is going to hold for you, and that you should cherish, the day and the moment that you're given, because unfortunately for Nick, like, he was given this obstacle that he had to overcome, and I know he probably wasn't feeling great leaving us, but I hope that we're all learning from it to be able to be thankful for the moment that we're given, and being blessed for healthy bodies when that does happen, and make the most of it for sure.
Wow, well said. I couldn't say it any better. If you like inspiring speeches like that, go check out his Sheltowee Trace series, through hike series. He's got 10 videos. He talks about the lessons learned on the trail after each one of those videos. It's phenomenal. Check it out.
Thanks.
And next, we also got to talk about you losing your camera.
Oh, man.
We got a little bit of footage on my video of what it was like waiting on him while he was up there searching for his camera in that rhododendron, tangled, disastrous mess of a reroute. But Man, explain the feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not smart like Jason, and I haven't backed up my footage on my SD cards like I should, and so the SD card that was on my camera had like the past 3 or 4 trips that I haven't edited yet, and just thinking that all those memories could have been potentially gone forever, and you know, all the effort that it takes to try to film something that's artistically beautiful and meaningful and that kind of thing. And I mean, we had easily a half a mile and maybe 100 to 150 feet of elevation through that thick rhododendron that I had to backtrack to, like, as best as I could remember, retrace my steps through, weaving in and out of all of that vegetation. And I mean, it's a lesson learned, like, go back to the place where you last remembered something and then do your best to recreate that hike up until the point where you realize it's gone. And that's what I did. I took my time. Thankfully, Jason was patient with me, and we both were praying the whole time, just like, God, please, this is a gift that I don't deserve, but I really would like to have that camera back. And I was just so, we both were just yelling in the forest, like, probably woke up every bear in the woods.
I was pretty skeptical that he was going to find it, because the rhododendron was thick where he lost it. And I feel kind of bad. I stayed back and had a snack and filmed.
Well, I'm just glad you went back to my backpack, because once I found the camera, I was like, oh no, now I have to figure out where my backpack is, because I left it down where I was standing.
And then the final thing, we already alluded to it a little bit, talking about the blowdowns. I've never encountered blowdowns like this in my life. If you've seen my foothills video, I didn't think blowdowns could get any worse than that trip. That 76-mile through hike of the Foothills Trail, that was bad. I hit that one after a major snowstorm with like almost 18 inches of snow. But this ice storm down here just devastated this place, and we probably bit off more than we should have in this trail. But something we didn't mention, we actually researched a little bit, probably almost 8 different trails before we came here. This wasn't our first on our list. We were supposed to go do the LBL, the land between the lakes, but they were a sloppy mess on that 60 miles in the north-south trail, so we decided to put that off to another day. We looked at Grayson Highlands, we looked at the Virginia Triple Crown, we looked at, what else? I know there was a couple others.
Section of the Shelcoe maybe.
Yeah. I even was trying to get these guys to go all the way down to Georgia, do the Georgia loop. Just, we didn't really want to go 5 or 6 hours further than out of Lexington for these guys. And I didn't really want to drive 8 hours either. So this actually worked out pretty good. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I can check it off the list.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you like a clean trail system without trees and brush in the way, I would recommend all of us, including myself, to volunteer a trail that you love and you hold dear to help them out, because man, this trail system needs a lot of help after this ice storm. So I need to do a better job of being more supportive in that way, rather than just, you know, using the trail for my own benefit. I need to give back as well, and this is a good humbling reminder that the trail isn't that way by itself. People put in a lot of hours to make it that way for you to recreate in.
For sure. Alrighty folks, that's going to wrap it up here on the Pine Mountain State Scenic Trail. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video, and I want to thank Samuel and Nick for inviting me along on this adventurous hike. Until next time, I'm Jason Wish, this is Samuel.
Wishing you
a great time on your next adventure.